Dianne at Minerva. I hope you're all having a super week. And today I'd like to share with you a sew along for this beautiful floaty top. And it's a NewLook pattern number 6575. And we're going to be making version A. And what we're going to be using today is this vibrant viscose challis, and it's a Minerva exclusive fabric. This particular design is called Chromatic Fizz. Gorgeous colours in this one, and they look like paint splatters, don't they? All these vibrant colours. We've got teal, cerise, amber, purple. It's really eye-catching. Now, this particular fabric is 150 centimetres wide. It's 100% viscose, light to medium weight, and it's woven. It has beautiful soft feel and a really good drape. So it will be ideal for making a floaty top such as this one. Now, should you wish to sew along with us today, all you have to do is watch out for the links below. So you need to keep your eyes open for the NewLook pattern, the viscose challis in Chromatic Fizz, a matching thread, some elastic, and I'll be linking in some of our Minerva maker labels, and these say #Minerva maker on the back. Now, before we begin, you want to wash and prepare your fabric as you would normally. When you've done that, take a tape measure. Now compare your sizing with that on the back of your pattern. Don't just go for your standard dress size. When you're happy with your sizing, we're going to go and cut our pattern pieces. Before we do that, it would be wonderful if you could join the Minerva Craft Club, because with the Minerva Craft Club you'll get 10% off all your orders for a whole year, and that will include anything that you buy today. We'd also love it if you create a free account. That way you can connect with like-minded sewers from all over the world and join in our wonderful sewing community. It's a great place to share your sewing makes and meet like-minded sewers from all over the world, and it's all completely free. Now we're ready to go and cut our pattern pieces. We're cutting for version A, remember? So let's go and do that together now. So here we have your bodice, front and sleeve for version A. This is a straight grain, so make sure you position your pieces correctly on the straight grain here. You're going to cut two pieces, make a note of the notches and the circles. Here we have your bodice back and sleeve for A. Again, you're going to cut two pieces. This is a straight grain. Note your notches and your circles. Here we have the back for A, B and C, and this is the bottom of the top. You're going to cut one on the fold, and this is the fold here. This is the waistline point. Note your notches and your cutting line view. So if you're cutting for C, it's here at this point. And you have a 1.5 centimetre hem allowed. Here we have the front piece for A, B and C. Again, you're going to cut one piece on the fold. Here is your fold. Make a note of the notches, the circles, this marking here, and your cutting view. Here we have your drawstring for A and C. You're going to cut two. This is the direction of grain, going this way on the diagonal, on the cross grain. Here we have the back neckband. Here we're going to cut one on the fold of fabric and one on the fold of interfacing. Note your notches. Here we have these front panels for the top, and you're going to cut 4 of fabric and 2 of interfacing. This is a straight grain. Note your notches and your circle. And here we have a back elastic guide. So just cut one pattern piece of this. This is for the measurement of your elastic when you come to cut that. So now we're ready to begin making our top. So first of all, you want to wind half of your thread onto your spool. Check your machine needle is sharp. I'm using a universal size 70 needle today. You may wish to experiment on a piece of scrap fabric and see what works best for you. When you've done this, we're going to do stay stitching around our front neck edge pieces and the back pieces. Now we're doing these in the direction of the arrows, and they are 1.3 centimetres away from the cut edge. That is our first job. Let's do that now. So this is the back neck edge here. Line of stay stitching going around this back neck edge. 1.3 centimetres away from the cut edge. Then this long front straight edge here. Now on this one, it goes to the centre with the arrow, and then it comes from the bottom. So I'm stopping here, back tacking a little, and then going up from the bottom. I have just done it all in one direction before, and I don't feel it's made much difference, but it's up to you whether you decide to stop and follow this step at all. Repeat on the other side. Now you're going to place right sides facing your two back bodice sections like this, and we're going to join this central seam. So what you need to do is you need to match up your notches. So we have our 3 notches here at the back. Make sure that they're lined up. Now I've already done some overlocking on mine, but I can still see my notches. So if you do overlock before you join this seam, make sure that you remark with chalk, or you've done your notches big enough so that you can still see them. You also want to make sure, if you're taking off a little with your overlocker beforehand, that you incorporate this into your seam as well. So you will need to make your seams a little smaller if you've cut off a little with the overlocker. So now we're going to stitch this central back seam with a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Now we're going to join our shoulder seams. So here is my back piece, and here is the top of my sleeve. Here is my front piece. We're going to place that on right sides facing, matching the notches here, and pinning them in place. Pin your sleeve all the way along, making sure that everything lines up and not pulling on the fabric. Now we have our facing pieces. We're going to apply our interfacing to the backs of these. Here is the back of the neck. So we have one and one with interfacing on. And here we have one of the pairs of the front facing pieces, and they are interfaced now. And we are going to join them here and here, matching the notches. So flip over your back piece, match up the notches here, and stitch that in place. Now you're going to pin your facing to your neck of your top. So find your centre back, find the centre back of your facing piece and line that up, and open up your back seam. Line up your notches here and here. And then your shoulder seams. So you want to open these up, make sure that they're lying flat, and pin them in place. And then going down the front, we have notches here and here. So make sure that they line up also before you pin the rest of the way. Stitch your facing in place. Now stitch together your two front facings here, starting at this large circle. just down to the bottom. Press your seams towards your facing, and now you're going to join your other facing pieces that have not got interfacing on them. Stitch your uninterfaced facing around your facing piece. Understitch your seams towards your facing. So this is the uninterfaced facing, this one that will go to the inside. Push your seam towards that and a few millimetres away from the edge, understitch on here. Now at this point you can stitch in the ditch all the way around your neck facing seam here. You can catch it down at the shoulder points here and here. And now we're going to stitch the underarm seam. So you want to turn it back inside out again. And we're stitching from circle point at the sleeve here, where you're going to create your small hem on your sleeve. We're going to go around this curve and all the way down past these two notches here to the side waist seam. So we're going to stitch this with a 1.5 centimetre seam now. So I'm going to stitch mine first of all, and then I'm going to overlock it after I have this all in position. Create your small hem at the bottom of your sleeve by turning it under twice. Apply a piece of fusible interfacing on the buttonhole area on the wrong side of the front piece here, where your buttonhole markings are. And then we're going to stitch the front to the back, bottom bodice piece, so the skirt piece of the top. It's sort of a skirt, isn't it, on this one. We're going to join the side seams. So right side's facing. Matching your notches here and here. We're going to pin this in place. Here are my side notches. Now with right sides facing, you're going to pin your upper bodice to your lower bodice, matching the centre front, your notches, your side seams. And when you've pinned all this in position, you're going to stitch it in place with a 2 centimetre seam. Stitch around on the outside. Do this from the outside so you can see that your channel will be even. So you're doing it towards the skirt because that's where your buttonholes are. And you can feel your channel on the inside. Now you can trim away a little from the underside of this seam if you wish. Now you can stitch your loops with right sides facing and then turn through, or you can do it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm just holding it under the machine and just top stitching it. Sometimes this is just quicker, and if you don't want to turn it through and you'd rather do it like this, you can do it like this, but it is a small hem that you're making on the side of it, and you're just folding both sides in as you go. Now they're not very long, so it doesn't take that long. And once you get on a roll and you're not talking like I'm doing, then it's much quicker to do it this way as well. Now you're going to take your elastic guide and you're going to cut a piece of elastic the length of your guide. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch our ties that we've just made to each end of the elastic. The read your code through your channel. Now I've used a large blunt needle like this. I stitch a little piece of cotton to the end, a little piece of thread, and I use this to thread it through. This is quite blunt, so this is quite easy to feel because it's quite big. It's got a large eye and also it goes through nicely, so that's what I use. So I'm using a double fold hem here at the bottom. And on the inside seam just here you can add your Minerva maker label. So here is the finished top. Shape sleeves. Now the length of it is long enough to wear as a dress. So I've got black jeans on, but I'm sure you could wear leggings with it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed sewing along with me today. Have you sewn this pattern before? Please let us know in the comments below, along with any photographs. We always love to see what you've been making. Well, I think this is a really fun top or tunic to make. And as you could see when I tried it on just then, it is long enough to wear as a dress. You could wear it with thick tights or leggings also. And I think it would be a great cover up for the beach with a bikini. So lots of options there, and I think it would look great in a variety of fabrics too. So maybe try a check or a gingham or maybe some velvet for the party season. It's a nice easy make. The only real complication is adding the elastic and the cording at the waist. But I suppose you could leave that out and just belt it if you wished, if you wanted to make it easier for a beginner. Just leave out these steps and just put a belt around it once it's finished. So that's just something you could think about. Now, if you like what I'm wearing today, this is another Minerva exclusive fabric. And this one is called Expressive Butterflies. And the pattern number, it's a simplicity pattern, Simplicity 9122. And it's a round neck dress with pockets, but I've just added an infinity scarf that I made with a little bit of scrap because it's cold here in England at the moment, so I'm layering everything up. So if you're interested in an additional make, I will link those items below also. Remember to like and follow Minerva to get more video content like this every week. Lots of ideas and inspiration. And I hope to be back really soon with another sew along. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.